right, we're officially recording. So thank you all for coming out to the virtual orientation for 10th and 11th grade. We do kind of tie these together mostly because I want sophomores to not only know what to expect for their sophomore year, but to also start thinking ahead to that junior year, because your junior year is one of your more important years on the high school campus. I want to congratulate the sophomores and junior class. You're currently at 74 participants in the virtual orientation. So even if I divided you in half, you would beat every other grade level by more than 10 people. So congratulations on being informed and making sure that you're showing up to figure out how school is going to work this year. So first, welcome to 10th and 11th grade. The last time that I saw you, if you're a current or if you're a former student, you were 9th and 10th graders, and now you're a whole grade older. So congratulations on that, and things are about to get serious in high school. Miss Carpenter, are you ready to go to the next slide?
Let's do it.
Introduce myself real quick. I'm Heather Wright. I'm the principal on the 712 campus. If you have been here before, you know that I like positive relationships with my students and not just seeing them when they're in trouble. So if you have a question or a suggestion, students, you're always welcome to reach out to me, and parents the same. And my co-host this evening is Rachel Carpenter, and I will let her introduce herself.
Hello, I am Rachel Carpenter. This will be my second year as the assistant principal on the Arkansas Arts Academy High School campus. I did 5 years of teaching music at the K-6 campus before moving up, and I'm actually an alum of the school. So I'm very excited for 10th and 11th graders. You're almost to your senior year, and you're going to become one of the family alum of the Arts Academy, and that's just going to be awesome. So exciting years to come.
Yes. We do have a new 10th through 12th grade counselor this year. That's Mrs. McGaw. She will be available for all the same things that Miss Hurt was available for, but Miss Hurt is moving to a position at another school. And Miss Morgan is still our nurse, so that hasn't changed. The important core teachers that you need to know about as 10th and 11th graders, Rebecca Britton is the primary English 10 teacher. So most of you, if you are sophomores, should have her. Mr. Deering does have one section of English 10. Rebecca Funderburg is a brand new world history teacher. Miss Oath took a position at Shiloh Christian, and so Miss Funderburg will be replacing her. Stephen McWilliams is the biology and environmental science teacher. Sabrina Garcia teaches geometry. Jamie Dale teaches junior English. Tim Martins teaches economics. Susan Kodrowski teaches chemistry, and Mary Leach teaches algebra 2. So those are the teachers that most sophomores or juniors will have. You may have a schedule that has a teacher outside of that. If you do and you want to know more about their subject, or you want to contact any adult on campus, all of the staff's email addresses are the first initial of their first name followed by their last name, all lowercase, at artsk12.org. All right, I think we're ready for the next slide. So these are some of the things that counselors can help with even when you're virtual. And we do still have 2 counselors. So Taryn Thomas is primarily 7 through 9, and Miss McGaw, Kendra McGaw, will be primarily 10 through 12. But if one is busy, you are always welcome to see the other. So they will still be working with social emotional learning and development, working in small groups or individually to help students understand how to have positive relationships with their peers, to solve conflict when it happens, working on conflict resolution tools, and how to be, whoop, they can't see the slides, Rachel.
What about now?
I can't see them. I think we had another student share a screen for a minute. So you may have to go back to present now again.
Okay. How about now?
Can we see the slides now? Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting us know.
Yes. All right. So they are also there for college and career planning, so they can help you start looking at what type of college you might want to go to or what career you want to go to. And if you need to go to a college or if you need to go to a technical school to do those things, they're there for academic support. So if you're struggling in a class, they can help you connect with a peer tutor or with a teacher during tutoring times to make sure you're supported and can be successful. And then the counselors will share a link at the beginning of school that you can use to schedule one-on-one meetings with them, either virtually or in person, 6 feet apart with a mask on. So being a sophomore, you have 1 year of high school out of the way. Hooray! This year is typically the easiest year of high school. You've got the routine down. Your schedule should still be pretty manageable as far as the difficulty of classes. So it's a good time to start getting involved in clubs and organizations, to start building your volunteer hours so you can earn that community service credit. And community service hours look great on college and job applications. You can step up and mentor a freshman and help them cross the hurdles of what it means to be a high school student. So make sure that they can be successful. You will all take the PSAT in October. That's the SAT test. And it is the test that also qualifies you for the National Merit Scholarship. So you will take that in October. You can start studying now. There's a lot of money tied to a high score on that test. You should also take the ACT at least once your sophomore year. So if you're taking geometry now, you're going to be wanting to take that test at the end of the year once you've finished geometry or gotten close to it. If you've already taken geometry and you're in algebra 2 or something higher, you might want to start thinking about taking that test earlier. And then start thinking seriously about what career you might want to have in the future and what steps you need to take to start that career. If you're a junior, congratulations, you are halfway to earning a high school diploma. So you need to be focused on getting your standardized college admission test scores where you want them to be this year. So take the ACT early and take it often. Sign up for ACT test prep. Make sure you take the free practice tests online. If you want to retake the PSAT in October, you can, because your junior year is actually the year that you would qualify for the National Merit Scholarship. So if you want to retake the PSAT when the sophomores do, you just let me know. There will be a form that'll go out the first week of school, and you'll let me know that you want to take that test. You're responsible for prom, juniors. I don't know if we'll get to do prom traditionally, but all of you are creative people, so you can figure out how to have a fun, socially distanced event that allows you all to dress up and dance together. You need to, when you're planning prom, work together as a team. The more that you're working together and collaborating, the more enjoyable that process will be. Trust me that if there is nothing but fighting, you won't even want to do prom by the time it gets time to be prom. You are now upperclassmen on campus, so you need to be stepping into leadership roles. You need to be getting involved in the school community, starting your own clubs, setting a positive role model for all of the students who are younger than you, 7th through 10th grade. And then start researching colleges and scholarships. Some of those scholarships that are high dollar, sometimes you can turn in the application your junior year. If you're planning on going to an art school, there may be auditions that you want to get ready for at the end of your junior year, right before you become a senior. So go ahead and start researching the colleges you think you might want to go to and the scholarships that are available with them. Create a post-high school plan with concrete, achievable goals. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do this. And make sure that you follow it. Check in with yourself. And these are things that the counselors will be helping with in the first couple of months of school. So really start thinking about it, because the last 2 years of high school will fly by. All right, this is the bell schedule for the 7-12 campus this year. Everyone is on the same bell schedule. The first class of the day, whether that's first period or fifth period, starts at 8:30. And the last period of the day ends at 3:50. Students can start being dropped off no earlier than 7:30 in the morning. And this year, drop-off will include a temperature check for everyone. So if you're dropping off at a bus, temperature checks will happen before students get on the bus. If you're dropping off at school, temperature checks will happen before students exit your vehicle. So that's part of the process of getting into campus this year. All high school students have an A-B block schedule with 4 classes and an advisory each day. You will choose 8 courses. 2 of them must be arts-based. Math and English are required each year unless you're doubling up somewhere. And then the other courses should help you fulfill the state and school graduation requirements and then be based on your interest in whichever art field that you're interested in. Are there any questions about how this schedule works? All right, next slide. So right now, for the first 9 weeks at a minimum, this is what the weekly layout will look like if you're on campus every day or you're here 2 days out of the week. So every Monday is an A day. Every Tuesday is a B day. Wednesday is a virtual day, so teachers will be working with very small groups or working with their virtual students only on those days. Students will have assignments to do, but they'll be small independent practice assignments. Thursday will be an A day and Friday will be a B day. So the classes are an hour and 25 minutes long. Lunch will happen sometime during 2nd or 6th hour each day. And that will depend on which class that you are in. Attendance is based on participation. So were you actively engaged in what the teacher asked for you to do, whether that's showing up in class and being part of a classroom discussion or showing up for the live meet session and being part of the classroom discussion virtually. So Creed would like to know how choir will work. So choir will have as many students as are possible to socially distance. Miss Adler knows what that number is to keep students 6 feet apart. State guidelines say that you can sing with a mask on, so you will be singing with a mask for no more than 30 minutes in that class, and then everyone must vacate the room for 20 minutes to allow it to air out. So you'll be singing for 30 minutes at a time, and then you'll have other work that you're completing for choir class. Piper asked, people who are coming to school full-time, do you not go on Wednesday? No, you'll come to school on Wednesday if you're here full-time. You won't necessarily see a teacher face-to-face on those days. So Miss Carpenter, Miss Lee, and I are in charge of the large study halls on those days, and you'll be doing independent work at the desk that you're assigned to. You'll be able to ask for a physical activity break to go on a walk with our PE teacher, Miss Maynor, to do a sunshine and mask break in the courtyard with Miss Carpenter or myself, or every once in a while, we're going to be throwing in fun things like socially distanced at your desk dance parties during the day. So we're going to throw in some fun things too. Even though you're at a desk, that doesn't mean that you have to be sitting there silently. You're still going to be able to talk to the people that are around you. You're going to be wearing a mask while you're doing that. And then we will filter in fun things. But on Wednesdays, you're not guaranteed that you will see a teacher in person. What about online remote learning? So your teachers will be sending you a schedule of when you will be needed in those classrooms for online and remote learning. If you have first hour algebra, they will be expecting to see you in your Zoom session during that time period from 8:30 to 10:55. No, 9:55.
9:55.
Miss Wright can't math today. So they will expect you to be available for a Zoom session, and they'll tell you exactly when that Zoom set or the meet session will start. What time does the bus pick up? I don't know the answer to that. I think Miss Carpenter might.
Look for a bus email from me stating the times of pickup and drop off. I'm sending that on Wednesday. If you have a spot on the bus, you already received an email from me. If you need a spot on the bus, you have to wait. If you want to be put on the wait list, email me and I'll put you on the wait list for the bus.
Yes. Miss Thorson asked, can my daughter do school at home on Wednesday even though she's on campus the other days? Absolutely, she can. Just send me her name and I'll add her to the list, the growing list of students who won't be on campus on Wednesdays. So we will only have video calls on Wednesday if we are online. Not necessarily. So like today, I did sessions with teachers who were in person and teachers who were not in the room. So they were at home. So I gave them the link that said, hey, this is the time that session is starting. and they jumped in through and were able to participate virtually at the same time as the people in my classroom. And I think some of your teachers will be doing that too. Those Wednesday days are more for checking in and making sure that you understand it, because the teacher never sees you in person. And so that's their online time to check in with online students, make sure that they're making progress and understanding what's expected of them. And then if they have time, teachers will be pulling small groups for kids who need extra remediation. We chose virtually only. Can we change it to Thursday, Friday on campus with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday virtual? Yes, you can. If you want to change your placement as far as virtual on campus or hybrid, which is the half and half, you email me, and that's hwright@artsk12.org. Zoom meetings are mandatory. If your teacher says that you have to be there, then yes, you have to be there. The Bentonville bus picks up at 7:20. Thank you, Mariah. Is there a bus route to Pea Ridge? There is not. Okay, so are there any other questions about the weekly layout? Awesome. Okay, all of the 9th and 10th graders, your space, your personal bubble, your 6-foot bubble is with the desk and chair is going to be in the commons. So you guys have the nice big windows. Anytime that we can, those doors will be open to make sure that you're getting fresh air in and increasing the ventilation in that area. So you'll have a desk that is yours. Your name will be on it. Get here in the morning. After you've had your temperature check and you've been cleared to come in for the day, you can go grab breakfast from the cafeteria or from the kitchen and then have a seat at your desk and eat it. You don't need to move from that desk unless you have permission. That's how we keep track of who's been in contact with who. And that way we don't end up having to quarantine everyone. We just quarantine the people that were within 6 feet of that person for more than 15 minutes. So if you need a break, those are things that you'll schedule through RTI Scheduler. If you're a new student, that will be explained to you on Monday. And if you're a former student, instead of only doing RTI Scheduler for advisory, you're going to be using RTI Scheduler for the whole day. And that will tell you when you're going to be going to in-class lessons with your teachers, and you'll have time to sign up for those things. Do you get to choose who you sit by? You do not.
I choose that.
Yes. Who would we email if we would like to only come to school during certain periods? You're going to email the teacher, and they will tell you when they need you to come to school. And it probably will not be every time that you would have them if you were here in person. If you're doing a blended schedule, do you check in with your teachers the days you are not there? Yes, you will. So like I have 3 teachers who can't be on campus today, but they are going to be here tomorrow and Wednesday. So I would consider them a blended student, but I still expected them to join the Google Meet and learn all the things that we're learning today so that they can get credit for the things that we're teaching them today. So in that same situation, if you chose a blended schedule, you're not only learning on Thursdays and Fridays. Those are just the days where you'll see those teachers in person so you can get some face-to-face interaction and help with what's going on in the class. If you chose Monday, Tuesday, can you still come in on Wednesday? Sure. You'll have your desk. We'll just make sure that it's still assigned to you for Wednesdays.
You need to tell us that if that's something you want to do.
Send Miss Carpenter and myself an email. If students are from the same house and in the same grade, are they able to sit close together? Are they able to walk to class together if they have the same classes? So if they're in the same grade, possibly they could sit close to each other. That will be a Miss Carpenter question as she's making those seating charts currently.
Students are arranged by grade level. So if you have twins, then yes, they're most likely sitting next to each other. But everyone else is sitting next to their grade level. That makes it easier for the teachers to come, such as Miss Dale needs to come get kids for her 11th grade English class. I want her to be able to grab them from one location and return to her classroom. If she has to go to 3 different locations, then that's going to be a little bit harder.
These are exchange students, Miss Carpenter. So
yeah, if they're in the same grade level, I would just need to, I bet they have different last names. I'd be happy to seat them together. You can send me an email with their names, and I can put them next to each other.
Yes. And then as far as walking together to the same class, there is never a moment where students are walking unescorted to a class or from a class. So teachers are going to be going to these study halls to pick up the students that they need, taking them to class, presenting their lessons, and then taking them back to the study hall to drop them off and pick up the next group. And that gives us the ability to contact trace every student all the way through the day. So if a student needs to go to the bathroom, they have an agenda, they'll sign that, and like one boy, one girl from each study hall will go at a time. You can also ask to go from your teacher, but those are the only times that you would be not with a teacher in the hallway, if that makes sense. Okay. Are there any other, 11th and 12th graders, you're going to be in the library because you're special and I'm trusting you not to destroy my carpet. Dance locker rooms are currently off limits.
That's a state directive, not our rule.
Yes. All right, graduation requirements. So every student who is earning a SMART Core diploma, which is the default diploma, needs to earn 4 units of English, 4 units of math that include algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and a higher math. 3 units of science, which is biology, physical science, and chemistry. 2 units of history, which is US world, civics, and econ. And then 2 units of foreign language. You also have to earn oral comm, PE, health, a digital learning credit, which all of your classes are currently digital learning. So you all will have checked that off. And then 6 units of electives. If you're using the SMART Core waiver, the only difference is that you still have to earn 4 math credits, but you don't have to do Algebra 2 or math beyond Algebra 2. And then you still have to have physical science and biology, but your third science can be human anatomy and physiology or environmental science or one of those other science classes. If you choose to only come 2 days a week, will you be seating in classrooms or in the commons? You will be seating in the commons.
Next to the other kids that are only Monday and Tuesday.
Yes. Or Thursday and Friday.
Yes, vice versa.
I haven't assigned him yet.
Okay. Maybe they haven't been assigned yet. I can ask for you. And she also doesn't have a key, but now she's on e-school at least.
Awesome.
I was just like, I'm just going to double check for my little friend. Okay, thanks.
I apologize for the interruption. Okay, credit recovery and promotion. So students in grades 9 through 12 are not promoted from year to year just because you finished a year that was classified as your freshman year. So that's a little bit different than other grades where you can just pass a majority of your classes, I think 4, and then you're moved on to the next. In high school, it works a little bit different. So if you are a sophomore, then you have earned no fewer than 6 high school credits towards graduation. If you are a junior, you have earned no less than 12. And if you are a senior, you have earned no less than 18. A graduate has earned no fewer than 24. So if you have failed a class that's required for graduation, you can retake the course the following year, or you can pay to complete that course digitally through BYU for pass-fail credit and recover that credit. Okay, 2 more questions. Will the Monday and Tuesday kids always get pulled on those days or only if the teacher thinks they need it? I've asked teachers to make sure they see kids face-to-face at least once a week. So I would imagine that they will get pulled on Monday and Tuesday. They'll be prioritized. If I choose the custom blended option, how do I know what days to come in? So if you chose a custom blended option, then you or your student will be emailing those teachers that they want to see, and the teacher will tell you what days you need to be on campus. And so that eliminates me from the loop. You are communicating directly with the teacher if you chose custom.
And if you do not communicate with them, they will assume you want virtual learning for their class, and they will send you the virtual learning resources. Okay, I think we're ready for the next slide.
So one of the things that matters in high school is your GPA and your class rank, and it matters more for things that happen after high school than it matters during high school. But it's still important to take into consideration. So every grade that you earn per semester is calculated into your cumulative GPA. All A's are worth 4 points. All B's are worth 3 points. C's are 2, D's are 1, and F's are 0, unless you're taking an AP course. If you're taking an AP course, an A is 5 points, a B is 4, and a C is 3. D's and F's are still rated or still calculated as 1 and 0, respectively. Each student is ranked in the class at the end of each semester according to their overall GPA. Those rankings are used to determine honor graduate level, salutatorian, and valedictorian of the class, and they can also be used in your college and scholarship applications. If you need grades from last year, you can send me an email and I can find your last report card and send it to you. I can also send you a transcript which would have all of their grades on it from last year and the year before. Okay. We do offer digital courses through NWAC through their early college experience. The list of early college experience classes is already published in the course catalog. To enroll in those classes, you need to demonstrate proficiency in math and English. They look at ACT Aspire scores, which of course we didn't do in the spring, ACT scores, or you can take the AccuPlacer test at NWAC. So NWAC offers courses to Benton County students at a reduced rate, which is $30 per credit hour plus a $25 digital fee. I will tell you that all of the virtual offerings through NWAC are full for the fall. So if you are planning on taking college classes for concurrent credit and you're not already enrolled, you will need to wait to enroll until the spring semester. So that enrollment period is October through December. So in October, Ms. McGaw will send out an email to students and parents that, hey, spring enrollment is open, and get that process started for you. When you say teachers will see students at least once a week, you're not talking about kids coming all week as well, right? In other words, those there every day will see them Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. For most of their classes, yes. That will happen half at a time. So the way to keep the numbers low in classes means that the classes will get split and 40 or half of the students will see their teacher for 40 minutes. And then the other half will see the teacher for 40 minutes. And when they're not in front of the teacher, they'll have independent work to do. Obviously, students who have IEPs, 504s, our ESL, those kinds of things will be prioritized and see their teachers more frequently, especially for resource classes. There's only 8 in a resource class, and small classes that have less than 15, those teachers will see the whole group at a time. It's just for classes that have more than 15 students at a time. In order to socially distance, you have to be able to break those classes in half. Okay. There are some teachers on campus who are using Lincoln Learning, primarily the younger grades, but if you are interested in how that works, this is the Lincoln Learning demo information. There's a link to get to their student sample account. The username and password are there. And there's a variety of classes, both elementary, middle school, and high school. So you can look at all of those. So lunch this year will happen at your desk. So you will have a time where we take you into the kitchen to get in small groups to get your lunch, or if you're at your desk and you're hungry and you brought your lunch, you can just eat it. But it will look different this year. So if you are sitting at your desk and you know that you're in the second half of a class that doesn't start for another 45, 50 minutes, then you can eat while you're working on your independent work and take more than 30 minutes to do that. But lunch will happen at your desk. How will culinary classes work? So if you are in person, that's a small group already, and Miss Bowman has already distanced that space in her classroom. If you're virtual, she'll be recording separate lessons for you to work on in class. Are we allowed on our phones when we have breaks? Yes, but if I ask you if your work is done and you tell me yes, and then I find out that you lied to me, you're in trouble, Adley. All right. How is dance going to work if you're a virtual learner? So Ms. Castleman and Ms. Kessler are working on engaging things to do with dancers that get you moving. Ms. Castleman has a whole idea about how to do the play that or the ballet that they were supposed to do, which was Alice in Wonderland at the end of the last semester, to do that all virtually, independently filmed at home, and then merge it all together into a single thing. So they have some really cool ideas for how to keep you moving and learning if you're a virtual dance learner. Can the people who choose in school change it to at home later on if this process doesn't work for them? Yes. Are students allowed to listen to music on their phones while working quietly? Yes.
In the study halls.
In the study halls, yes. When you're
No cell phones in the classroom.
Yes, when you're in front of a teacher, you should be paying attention to that teacher and prioritizing your learning. Okay, next slide. So these are some guidelines for the virtual classrooms. You will need to be able to turn on your camera to check in every once in a while. This is something that teachers are also required to do for professional development. Like I don't get credit for the things that I have to do virtually unless they can see my face every once in a while and prove that I'm there and I'm listening. So you need to make sure that you are dressed appropriately to be able to do that. So I'm not going to say no pajamas. I'm going to say if you aren't willing to wear it outside to pick up the mail or to go to the grocery store, then it's probably not appropriate for school, virtual or otherwise. Try to find a quiet place where you will be able to concentrate. For the most part, especially for teenagers, that doesn't necessarily need to be your bedroom because your bedroom is full of things that you distract yourself with. And you want to be able to concentrate in that space. So maybe looking for another place in your house that's nice and quiet. My girls do their distance learning in their bedrooms, but we put desks in their bedrooms so that it's separate from the rest of their space. Mute yourself when you're not speaking, so you're not interrupting your teacher or the person who's speaking at the time. And then follow your teacher's instructions for how to get their attention. So if they want you to use the little raise your hand function, do that. If they want you to type your questions in the chat, do that. But make sure you're paying attention and following the directions. And in a class discussion, make sure that you stay on topic and you're using school appropriate language. Because we're using Google Meet, that is tied to your email address. So there's no way for you to hide who you are. And there will be disciplinary consequences attached to inappropriate language on purpose, that's done on purpose. Pay attention and show respect to your teacher and your peers. So make sure that everyone's voice is allowed to be heard and that conversations are kind. And then come prepared to learn. Have all the necessary materials that you need. So if you're a virtual learner and you're sitting down and you're like, oh, I need that notebook, and you wait until after the class has started to go get it, that's time that you're wasting where you could be paying attention to what's going on in class. So make sure you have everything that you need before you get started. There is a supply list that's posted on the website on the 712 page. And as far as I'm aware, for the most part, the supplies are the same for in-person versus virtual students. So if you have a question about any specific supply, you're welcome to reach out to the teacher and ask them. Who will be watching the students in the spaced out areas? So Ms. Carpenter and myself will be walking through frequently, and then teachers will have rotating duty shifts in those spaces to make sure that the students are always monitored. There will always be 2 adults at minimum in those spaces. Extracurricular opportunities. So students can start clubs based on their interest every year. You just need an adult sponsor and a place or time to meet. Those forms will be available both online and in the office at the beginning of the year. So some of the clubs that we had last year included Art Club, STEAM Club, Lego Club, the Thespian Society, National Junior Honor Society, the National Honor Society, Student Council, knitting club, coffee and conversations, Dungeons and Dragons, Spirit Squad, American Sign Language Club, the mindfulness group, and peer ambassadors. So you're always welcome to start a club of your own. Again, you need an adult sponsor and a place and time to meet. For the most part, all of these things are going to be happening virtually for the first 9 weeks of school. So just because you're not in person doesn't mean that you can't meet in a digital space and build Legos together or find a way to play Dungeons and Dragons digitally. So all of those things will happen in a virtual space. Are there any additional questions? Can we join multiple clubs? Yes, you can join multiple clubs. Is there a mask dress code? Piper, if it's a distraction, I'm gonna hand you something much plainer, and a distraction would be anything violent, negative towards a specific group. So just like the list of things that you're not allowed to put on a t-shirt, those are things that you wouldn't be allowed to put on a mask. Will we just have to be quiet the whole time, or can we go sit by our friends and visit with them when we're done with work? So you don't have to be quiet, but you're not going to be allowed to move from desk to desk. So you're welcome to talk across the room as long as you're not being raucous. But you're not going to be able to move around the room because that changes who's been exposed to who. Are the clubs listed online? They are once we publish or once we get a list for the year. Currently, it's last year's clubs that's up there. So once we have a list for this year, I'll pull last year's down and replace it with this year's. Will we still have regular theater performances? You have a brand new theater teacher. His name is Jordan Haynes. And he has been working with Theater Squared over the summer to figure out how to do virtual theater performances with students in summer camps. So yes, he still plans on you performing. It just won't look like being on stage with an audience of 200 to 300 people. Can I repeat the dress code for masks? Yes. So it should not be something that's gory. No curse words can be printed on your mask. You can't have anything suggestive, meaning sexual references or parts of bodies that would otherwise be covered by clothes in public. Printed on your mask. Nothing negative about a specific group, things like that. So you can't, it shouldn't be a distraction is what I'm trying to say. Will we be able to swap seats at any point? No, you will not. Mr. Russell resigned last week. Can we bring multiple masks a day and change them out after lunch or the end of the day? Absolutely. You can bring as many masks as you want to. I currently have 15 in my office and I swap them at least 3 times. So students are getting assigned seats, which means they could possibly not to get to visit with their friends all day if they are not allowed to move around. Potentially, yes. They probably have classes with those friends. So they're going to get picked up and moved to those classes together. So there's an opportunity for them to chat in the hallway as they're moving to the class and then in the classroom itself. No. There will not be a seat change request form.
Miss Wright, I have had a group of girls ask me if they can have a social lunch virtually. And so some of their friends are going to be at home doing virtual learning, and some of them are going to be at school. And they've just decided if they don't have class at that time, that they're eating lunch, they're all going to meet up in their own Google Meet and have lunch together.
Yes. You can request breaks at the same time. So if you coordinate it and you all want a sunshine and mask-free break outside at the same time, you can do that as long as you're 6 feet away from each other outdoors. You can be out in the sunshine without your mask, or you can wear your mask and be closer to each other outdoors. You can also sign up to go on a walk through the neighborhood with the PE teacher. There are things that you can be able to sign up to do so that you're not forced to sit in a desk.
I clicked on C.
Hey, Javon, I'm going to mute you. Okay. Will you be able to eat outside during your lunch? That you could sign up for an outdoor break during your lunch to eat outside. That would work, but otherwise, because we can't have the entire school outside.
Raven wants to know about class changes. When will they know if those have been changed?
You will not, I will probably not email you. At this point, I'm the only person doing class changes because Ms. Hurt is gone. So I will just change them as I get to them, and then you can check eSchool and see if it's changed or not. If it hasn't changed and you want to know why it hasn't changed, send me an email and I will either tell you that that change is not possible because the class is full, or that I just haven't gotten to it yet. I missed several questions there. They were coming in hot and heavy for a minute.
You're at Creed. When or how do we get our schedules? They're on
Your
eSchool.
schedule is already live in eSchool. Yep. So just sign in with your eSchool credentials. If you forget it, then you are welcome to email Miss Miller, and she can tell you how to log into eSchool with your password. Yes, they can sign up for an outdoor break during their lunch and sit outside with their friends. Did we set up something on Google Classroom so that new students can make friends? Absolutely. And that's another good reason to get involved with clubs and organizations this year, because that's going to be a group of people that you're going to get to meet even virtually and start building friendships with. Is Mr. Kersey still going to teach the digital arts portfolio class? Yes. What if we're not able to find Clorox wipes? That's fine. We're having a hard time finding them too. We do have Virex cleaner that every teacher has in their classroom for wiping down the desks between groups of students. And it is effective, 99.9% effective when left to sit for at least 5 minutes. So teachers will be spraying them down as students are walking out to go back to their study halls. And then the next group that comes in will be wiping down the tables after all the germs are killed. If we are signed up for in-person learning and it ends up not working for us, can we change it or is it set in stone? You can change it, Mason. When will we get Chromebooks? You should have gotten an email from your student's advisory teacher today with a link to sign up for a time to come pick up Chromebooks on Friday, August 21st. That's this Friday, sometime between 10 and 5 p.m., 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. If we still have the Chromebook because this parent never turned it in, does she keep this one? Yes, please keep it. Don't have her turn it in. Just make sure that she brings it with her the first day of school. And you do need to make sure that you're charging your Chromebooks every night, because you're not going to be able to necessarily get to a place to plug it in easily. And if you are picking up your Chromebook on Friday, please make sure that you plug it in over the weekend, because they are very dead right now. They're not started. The first day of school is August 24th, which is Monday. Piper, do you know who your advisory teacher is? Okay. All right. So I will check with teachers tomorrow morning and see if they got those emails out. Are you checking your school email? Okay. All right. I'll check them. I'll figure out who your advisor is. I'll look it up and I'll check with that teacher. Are there any other questions?
Ari Riley wants to know if they had to come get their Chromebook if they already have a computer.
Yes. And so we're asking you to pick up Chromebooks from the school, because if there's a technology issue, Mr. Craig can troubleshoot that if it's one of our Chromebooks. If it's not one of our Chromebooks, then he can't troubleshoot that as easily. So we are asking that you come pick it up. I can't force you to use it, but that way I know that you have it. So I know that you have access to a computer that will work. I don't know what you would have received from Miss Hurt. Miss Hurt is leaving this week. Chromebooks can be picked up this Friday. So you're going to be choosing a time between 10 and 5 from your advisory teacher. So I will send out those emails to teachers again and make sure that they ask them. How do you access your student school email account? That is a good question for Mr. Craig, and I will get the answer and then send it out to all of our new parents. Because you definitely have a school email. You may just not know how to access it yet. And again, I'll check with advisory teachers and make sure that they sent those emails out today. Are there any other questions? The day of. So they will know the night before at a minimum. They'll probably know the whole week before when their teachers are going to be asking them to come see them in class. And then we will have those breaks open and send them an email each morning to say, hey, look at your schedule, figure out when your teachers are going to see you, and then plan your breaks for the day. Where will Mr. Farmer's class be? That depends on which period you have him. Yes, you can still return school library books from last year. Chromebooks.
Please do.
August 21st. Thank you, Ms. Castleman, for putting out that you have already done that and they should have received an email. Okay, so if someone is refusing to wear a mask, is that what you're asking, Mariah? Okay, so masks are mandatory inside the building at all times. So if someone is refusing to wear a mask, I will hand them a mask and then I will say, this is the reason we wear the mask. And then if the answer is still refusal, then we will call home and say, I'm sorry, masks are required for being on campus. We need you to come get your student because they are refusing to wear one. And that is a Rogers city ordinance to wear masks inside the building when you can't be socially distanced. It's also board policy for our district. So masks are mandatory. If we have that same conversation multiple times, then I will just say, this student, you're going to be a virtual student. If you can't wear a mask in the building, then you will be a virtual student. And that's a conversation that I will have with that student and their parents. Mr. Craycraft, if you haven't gotten an email, I'm going to check with all of my teachers and see if they sent them out. And then I will check specifically for Maggie and Noah as well to see who their advisory teachers are and check with those teachers. I didn't say anything about not wearing political clothing for masks. Did I, Ms. Carpenter?
No, ma'am. Just remember that if we don't want anti anything, we're not trying to hurt people's feelings with what we have. But if you're pro something and that's what you believe in and it's not going to be offensive to anyone, then I see nothing wrong with that.
Right. You can be pro whatever you want to be. You can't be anti anybody. Okay. Yes, you can still come in and pick up your Chromebook, Jillian. I'm not going to be in town on Friday. You can also schedule a time to pick it up ahead of Friday because I would prefer that everyone have what they need to start school on Monday. I am almost 100% positive that we will be in the building, but I can't guarantee that we will be in the building, and it would make me feel a lot better if I knew that every student had their Chromebook and had what they needed this Friday so that we can start school regardless.
Our office hours are from 8 to 3.
Yep, and I'm usually here a lot longer than that. How are hallways going to work? So your teacher is going to pick you up from your study hall session when they need you, and they're going to walk you to your class. You're going to have your class, and they're going to walk you back to study hall. So it's not going to be just everyone wandering from one place to another. So you're going to be quickly moving from your study hall to your class, and then from your class to your study hall, and you'll be escorted when that happens. Your advisory teachers, for the most part, are the same one that you had last year. There's been a little bit of movement. Yes, Mason, you can come by Thursday and pick up your Chromebook. I'll be here 8 to 3. If you are a driver, what time is dismissal? If you are a driver and your teacher does not need you in class, then you can leave at 3:10. If you are a driver and your teacher does need you in class, you have to be in class until your teacher dismisses you. And if you have no more questions, you are welcome to leave. Thank you for coming. Yeah, no, we are not going to meet for advisory. So the first 9 weeks we won't. Your teachers will be checking in with you digitally. They may choose to pull students who need extra help on something during that time. But we won't be going to advisory class the first 9 weeks. You will get the form for Chromebook insurance the first day of school, and then you will be able to pay that through My Payments Plus or to write a check directly to the school, and we'll send you a receipt. You're welcome, Matt. Thank you, Ms. Webb. It's much appreciated. All right, I'm going to stop recording. If you have any other questions that you'd like to ask me, you are welcome to